Especially given your past role as president of the Council of Presidents of the Black College Fund of the United Methodist Church, what do you think the General Board of Higher Education and Ministry needs to do to preserve HBCUs going forth, and why will they be important?
I think fundraising is becoming more and more difficult, especially for unrestricted funds. I would like to see the General Board of Higher Education and Ministry set up a capital campaign, an endowment fund for the legacy of our institutions. I would like to think in 100 years that all of our institutions would still be there to support not only African American students. Many of us have opened our doors to Hispanics, to white students and others who've had a tough road. And I think that we have a role to play for in the future. I think culturally speaking, our schools should be places where people come to learn about history and culture. In order to do that, the board and the United Methodist Church has had a commitment. They started our institutions, and I think the commitment should be to continue them. And that will take resources, it will take the love, and it will take the understanding. I also think marketing is going to be very important for other generations of United Methodists to understand our value, our history, our legacy, and what we have to offer. So the marketing and the fundraising go hand in hand. So I would like to see that continue.
And how should the General Board of Higher Education and Ministry groom the next generation of leaders?
Well, I would like to see all of our current United Methodist institutions, not only HBCUs, but all of them, to identify leaders at different levels, like the one that I explained earlier, the vice president, seem to have the potential to be presidents or deans, to maybe every other year to convene these persons and have mentors there to talk to them about what it's like to be a president, what it's like to be a provost, what it's like to be a dean, and to encourage them and to offer workshops and to mentor them on into those positions so that the legacy continues. There's one thing to be president in the role, but there's quite another thing to have a commitment. I think a lot of us old presidents weren't there just for the title. It was really our passion. It was in our hearts. It was the legacy we carried from our generation, from Jim Crow, from civil rights movement, right to the current time period. I'm concerned that as we move into a different time period, there may be leaders who will lack that history and legacy and commitment. I would like to see us really talk about the importance of the history being transferred to the next generation of leaders. They won't have the same experiences that we had, but I would like for them to carry the same passion and commitment that the Shirley Lewises, the Dr. Gloria Randle Scott had, Dr. Julius Scott, the Dr. Haywood Strickland, you know, all of the leaders that came in that generation and during my generation. It really does matter.